Throughout history, empires have risen and fallen on the strength of trade routes. The flow of goods, ideas, and people has always shaped the fate of nations. From the earliest days, the ability to connect distant lands determined who prospered and who faded into obscurity. Trade was never just about commerce. It was about power, influence, and survival. The ancient Silk Road once connected east and west, shaping civilizations. It was more than a path for silk and spices. It was a living artery, pulsing with culture, religion, and technology. Along its dusty trails, empires rose, cities flourished, and the world grew smaller, one caravan at a time. Now in 2026, a new Silk Road emerges, not of camels and caravans, but of steel rails and locomotives. The landscape is the same, but the scale is unprecedented. Trains thunder across deserts and mountains, carrying not just goods, but the ambitions of nations. This is a new era of connectivity, where time and distance shrink beneath the relentless drive of progress. A railway now links China and Iran, redrawing the map of global trade. This iron artery slices through ancient lands, forging a direct connection between two civilizations with millennia of history. It's a feat of engineering and diplomacy, overcoming both natural barriers and political divides. This is more than infrastructure. It's a bold move away from the old, Western-dominated sea lanes. For centuries, the world's commerce has flowed along maritime routes controlled by powerful navies. But now, a new path is being carved across the heart of Eurasia, challenging the status quo and shifting the balance of power. For decades, choke points like the Suez Canal and Strait of Malacca have defined commerce under Western naval watch. These narrow passages have been both gateways and bottlenecks, vulnerable to crisis and conflict. The world has watched as ships queued for days, fortunes lost to a single blockage or geopolitical standoff. The Southern Corridor Railway bypasses these, forging a new economic artery set by Beijing and Tehran. It's a route less vulnerable to blockades, less dependent on distant navies, and more attuned to the ambitions of the East. This overland corridor is a statement. The future of trade can be written on rails, not just waves. Born from China's Belt and Road Initiative, it's a lifeline for Iran, long isolated by sanctions. For Tehran, the railway is more than a project. It's a chance to reconnect with the world, to break free from economic isolation, and to assert its place in a changing global order. For China, it's a strategic investment, opening new markets and securing vital supply lines. The first train from Xi'an to Tehran in 2025 marked a new era of Eurasian connectivity. It was a moment of celebration, but also a signal to the world. The center of gravity is shifting. The Iron Silk Road is not just a line on a map, it's a bridge between continents, cultures, and futures. The railway has already survived conflict and airstrikes, proving its strategic importance. Every repaired track, every guarded train, is a testament to the determination of those who built it. The risks are real, but so are the rewards. In a world of uncertainty, the Iron Silk Road endures. This is a story of ambition, defiance, and a shifting world order. Engineers, workers, and leaders have staked their futures on this project, betting that the world can be redrawn by vision and resolve. The Iron Silk Road is more than metal and stone. It's a symbol of a new era, where old boundaries are crossed and new possibilities emerge. The Iron Silk Road is here, and it's changing everything. As trains race across continents, they carry not just cargo, but the hopes and ambitions of a world in transition. The map is being redrawn, and the future is arriving, one rail at a time. The China-Iran Railway is the backbone of the Southern Corridor, reviving an ancient trade path. Starting in Xi'an, it stretches over 9,000 kilometers through Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan into Iran. The first freight train made the journey in just over 14 days, a new benchmark for overland transport. This project, driven by China's Belt and Road Initiative, required unprecedented cooperation and engineering. Central Asian nations benefit from transit fees and new economic opportunities. For Iran, it's a direct link to China, bypassing Western-controlled routes. Harmonizing track gauges and customs was a massive challenge, but the result is a seamless, efficient corridor. The Southern Corridor is now a functioning, reliable land bridge between East and West. It's a game-changer for global logistics. The Southern Corridor's success hinged on more than tracks. It needed unity. In 2025, China, Iran, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan signed a landmark agreement in Istanbul. Unified tariffs and synchronized schedules turned 6 national railways into one integrated artery. Businesses now enjoy predictable costs and smooth transit across borders. Turkey's inclusion connects the corridor directly to Europe, making it the Western Gateway. This pact transformed a patchwork of lines into a true transnational network. The 6-party agreement is the glue that gives the Southern Corridor its global power. It's a direct challenge to the old order of trade. The Southern Corridor is emerging as a bold new challenger to the dominance of traditional sea routes such as the Suez Canal and the Strait of Malacca. For decades, these maritime passages have been the lifeblood of global trade, funneling vast quantities of goods between Asia and Europe. But as the world changes, so too do the routes that power its economy. Shipping freight from China to Europe by sea can take up to 45 days, with ships navigating thousands of kilometers and facing unpredictable delays at congested ports or narrow straits. In contrast, the new overland rail link slashes transit times to under 3 weeks, offering a much faster alternative for businesses that rely on speed and reliability. For high-value goods, like electronics, automotive parts, and luxury items, this dramatic reduction in delivery time is a game-changer. Companies can keep less inventory on hand, respond more quickly to market demand, and reduce the risk of goods being delayed or damaged at sea. The Northern Corridor, which passes through Russia, was once a key overland route, but with ongoing conflict and rising geopolitical tensions, it has become increasingly risky and unpredictable. As a result, shippers and logistics companies are seeking safer, more stable alternatives. The Middle Corridor, which combines sea and rail transport, is another option. However, it tends to be slower and more expensive due to the need for multiple transfers and the complexities of coordinating different modes of transport across several countries. The all-rail Southern Corridor, on the other hand, is designed to be streamlined, secure, and cost-effective. With modern infrastructure, advanced security measures, and efficient customs procedures, it minimizes delays and reduces costs for shippers. As a result, the Southern Corridor is rapidly becoming the preferred overland route for China-Europe trade, attracting more investment and growing volumes of cargo with each passing month. By bypassing volatile choke points, congested maritime passages, and regions affected by conflict, the Southern Corridor offers a level of stability and predictability that is increasingly rare in today's global supply chains. This new route is not just a shortcut, it's fundamentally reshaping the logistics map of Eurasia, opening up new opportunities for trade, investment, and economic cooperation across the continent. The Southern Corridor is quickly becoming the new backbone of Eurasian commerce, connecting economies, reducing transit times, and setting the stage for a new era in global trade. The China-Iran Railway is a geopolitical game-changer. For Iran, it's a lifeline. Bypassing Western sanctions and maritime controls, goods now flow directly to China, outside the reach of the US dollar and SWIFT. For China, it solves the Malacca dilemma, reducing dependence on vulnerable sea lanes policed by the US Navy. The overland route secures China's access to Middle Eastern energy and markets. This railway is a cornerstone of China's Belt and Road vision for a multipolar world. It strengthens both nations and weakens Western leverage. The Iron Silk Road is a tangible alternative to the old global system. It's about sovereignty, survival, and shifting alliances. The balance of power is moving on steel rails. The Southern Corridor's impact was immediate. In late 2025, 40 freight trains traveled from China through Iran, compared to just 7 in the previous 7 years. Standardized tariffs and efficient procedures gave businesses confidence to shift from sea to rail. Shipping a container from Xi'an to Tehran costs $4,500, with a 50% discount on the return trip. This pricing ensures full trains both ways, making the route profitable and sustainable. Analysts estimate the corridor could capture 10% of the 60 million tons of annual China-Europe rail cargo. That's 6 million tons a year, transforming Iran and Central Asia into key logistics hubs. The numbers prove it. The Iron Silk Road is no longer a dream, but a booming reality. The railway's strategic value was tested almost immediately. In May 2025, US and Israeli airstrikes targeted Iran's nuclear sites and the new railway. The message was clear. The West saw the corridor as a threat. The attacks aimed to cripple the route and deter investment. But Iran retaliated by closing the Strait of Hormuz, a move made possible by the new rail link to China. The railway gave Iran leverage it never had before. The conflict proved the corridor's resilience. Tracks were repaired. Trains resumed. The world saw that the Iron Silk Road could withstand military pressure. The 12-day war didn't destroy the corridor. It proved its power. A new era of strategic depth had arrived. The China-Iran Railway is just the beginning, a single thread in a tapestry that's rapidly unfolding across continents. What started as a bold connection between two nations is now sparking a wave of ambition, inspiring countries to dream bigger and reach farther. The vision is nothing less than a vast web of steel and commerce, linking Asia, the Middle East and Europe in ways never seen before. Imagine a network where goods, people and ideas flow freely from the Pacific coast to the heart of Europe, transforming economies and reshaping societies along the way. Iran is building links to Turkey, aiming for seamless rail travel from Shanghai to London. This means that for the first time, a single train journey could connect the bustling cities of East Asia with the historic capitals of Western Europe, bypassing traditional maritime routes. New projects, like the Marand-Maku and Bazargan-Cheshme-Soraya lines, will connect Iran directly to Europe. These lines are more than just infrastructure, they're bridges between cultures, opening up new opportunities for trade, tourism, and cooperation. Meanwhile, China and Kazakhstan have opened new crossings, and the China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan Railway is underway. These routes are forging new links across the heart of Central Asia, bringing remote regions into the global fold and accelerating development. Central Asia is becoming a continental crossroads, where East meets West and North meets South. Here, ancient Silk Road cities are being reconnected by modern rail, reviving old trade routes and creating new ones. This expanding network is an alternative system, independent of the US dollar and Navy. It offers countries a new way to move goods and assert their economic independence, reducing reliance on traditional sea lanes and global powers. As more countries join, a new economic orbit forms around Eurasia, with China at its center. This is more than just infrastructure, it's a shift in the balance of power, as nations align themselves with new partners and new possibilities. Competing blocs and new alliances are emerging as countries weigh the benefits of joining this growing network. The railway is becoming a stage for diplomacy, negotiation, and sometimes rivalry. The Iron Silk Road is laying the tracks for a new world order, one where connectivity, not geography, defines influence and opportunity. The future of global trade is being written, one rail at a time. With every kilometer of track, the world grows smaller, and the promise of a truly connected Eurasia comes closer to reality.